Good evening and salutations, my B&B fans. Okay, I don't know what is Hope doing. I mean, I know what she's doing, but even yesterday, she came across as so cringy to watch. So cringy to watch, right? Just throwing herself at this man, who is married, by the way. But today in the office, she was sitting there thinking about how she was throwing herself at Ben, and I'm like, that's not a good thought you should be sitting there having because all you kept getting was rejections. Okay, left and right. He said, "No, we shouldn't even be talking about this." Her dumb ass is sitting there talking about, "Well, can a girl dream?" Yeah. And keep those goddamn dreams to yourself. You don't sit there and say that to a married. Here's my whole other thing. You say that you're Finn's friend. Why would you put him in such a compromising position just because you want to get back at Steffi? Right? He's supposed to be your friend. What are you doing? Because in reality, this is another reason why it's like I'm not a fan of Hope. And she comes across as extremely self-centered. She did that with Thomas. Now she's doing that with Finn. It's like a goddamn black hole with this woman. But Brooke comes in, and they're talking about Sheila's release and everything, and how Finn is going to sit there and handle it with Steffi, and Hope is like, hey, listen, he should be able to process it the way that he wants to process it. If he's happy, if he's relieved, then he should be able to sit there and show it and not be worried about any sort of reprisal from his wife, which she clearly seemed like he gave her the balls in her relationship. But, Brooke is like, listen, they will handle it the way that they will handle it, And she keeps reminding her, hey, listen, you do understand that he is a married man and that's their relationship and their problems. And you know what? You know what Hope says? Does Steffi deserve someone like Finn? What? Even Brooke, which by the way was really kind of an overreaction towards her facial expression, but she was just like, what in the hell is wrong with you? Now I get where they're going. They want to sit there and be like, oh, you're Brooke 2.0, just like your mother. Everyone always sits there and says that. And whenever I go on YouTube and I try to watch it, if it's on, they all sit there and say the same thing. Oh, she's acting just like her mom. It's like, I get it. But it's like, even Brooke is like, this is out of pocket. What are you doing at this point? The only thing that you are clearly doing, and I think Brooke, as I said to Sarah yesterday, is that he has kids. He has kids. Do you have any idea what divorces do to children? She's not thinking of it. It's like this is exactly what I'm sitting there talking about. She's not thinking about that. She's just like, oh, well, I want him, and that's it. And whatever the fallout is, oh, F it. That's not really my problem. But I got to get back at Steffi, even if it hurts her kids. I didn't really think about that. No, of course not, because she thought about what she wanted to think about. Now, Poppy, Bill, and Katie, for some odd goddamn reason, feels that she is still entitled to walk into this man's house without knocking. Which, Poppy wants to sit there and knock some boots, but Bill's like, hey, listen, you don't call me Dollar Bill for no reason. I gotta sit there and make that money, make that shmoney, as they sit there and say. So, um, I think she goes upstairs and she does something, and Katie just walks on in, and Katie's like, "Oh well, I'm very concerned about Will. I wonder how Will's going to sit there and take this. You really feel the need to sit there and just barge in this man's room, barge in this man's house, just to be over exaggerating about how Will's going to sit there and deal with it? Will will deal with it when the time comes. Why are you bothering this man for? You didn't sit there and think that he might want to sit there and have a little loving in the afternoon before you decide to just start barging on in? Like, what do you think? Oh, of course, she's thinking about her. Yeah, I can understand why some people sit there and say some of these Logan women are selfish. Listen, Donna's hot and she can sit and get away with pretty much whatever she wants, but I can see where y'all are coming from. So she comes in, she's all like, well. And then she's all like, oh, I don't trust Poppy, and I think that you're moving too fast, and, what is this going to do to Will, and how's it going to affect Will? It's like, stop using that as an excuse to sit there and get back into it. One of the things that I cannot stand that some women do is when they use their children as a way to get back in someone's life. Or, because that's literally what she's doing. She's all like, well, we gotta sit there and deal with this how it will. It's like, okay, do we need to deal with it today, though? Well, ain't coming back for a couple of days. Let's not sit there and try to act like this is a SOS sort of situation. Calm yourself. Um, So yeah, she goes on about that. She's all like, "Oh, I don't trust Poppy," and this, that, and the third, and just really bad mouthing her. And Poppy overhears this. So when Bill is like, "I really got to go to work," okay, I'm not gonna be calling dollar bill if I'm not making no bill. So he leaves, and and Poppy comes downstairs like, it's amazing. Every time I come here, it's like you're here, bad mouth me and this, that, and the third. And she's like, you just want Bill back, but you had your chance, and you blew it. That's on you. Katie is with this whole, well, this is a place that we used to sit there and live in, and my children used to live here, and I was like, yeah, keyword used to. Used to. That's past tense in case you cannot comprehend that. And she's all like, I have the right to sit there and be concerned. I have the right for something. I don't exactly remember what. Hold on, let me see. What did she say? I don't exactly remember what she said, but she was like, I have the right to something. I have the right to be concerned, or I have the right to ask questions, or whatever. And I was like, no, you don't. You lost that rights when you got divorced. Like, you really did. I don't know what you're talking about at this point. But then Katie started coming in with some serious questions, like, it's just kind of off that you just came into town and you knew that there was a possibility that Luna was his daughter, but you didn't sit there and say anything for a while. It's like you're hiding something, and I'm gonna sit there and figure it out. And viewer wise, we know that Katie is actually right about that. There's something off with Poppy, so Katie isn't wrong. But the problem is that at this point it's just suspicious, it's just guesses. And you're still just coming across as this jealous ex that, you know, you blew your chance, now you want to sit there and whine about it later on, like anyone's supposed to care. Um that's my issue with that. Now Steffi is in her usual whining mode. Oh, I can't stand the Logans, and I keep running the Logans, and Logans this, and hope that, and wham. Her usual nonsense. I think she should have probably been, particularly with Brooke and Rich, be like, yo, I saw some stuff that I can't unsee. That was unprofessional, and it was disturbing. I would have got on that if she didn't keep whining about the same thing. Then she finds out that Sheila is free. They couldn't charge her. And so then she's like, oh, surprised you knew about it. Why didn't you not tell me? And one of the things that Finn says is, yeah, I mean, yeah, I thought they should have did their due diligence before asking the questions, but there's no motive. And this is, again, where they have to start playing people, like, down brain-wise, because it's like, she's like, oh, well, she's Sheila. She's evil. I was like, okay, but did you just hear what he said? Why would she sit there and kill the person who saved her life, and Hollis, who they've never really had any words or any sort of history. So what would be the motivation? And she's all like, oh, well, she had to kill them. If it wasn't her, it has to be her. Then who else could it be? I was like, well, I don't know. You live in LA. And the last time I checked, there's a lot of crime and death and destruction in LA. You do realize where you live at, right? I mean, that's like something, I'm not even going to bother to sit there and try to come up with another explanation. My point is that LA can be a very dangerous place, and people get murked all the time. For her to sit there and say, well, man, I wonder who else it could it possibly be. I'm like, I don't know. Steffi, you live in LA. It's as dangerous as New York. What kind of stupid ass question is that? But she's all petro. She's all like, oh, what is she going to do? I thought I was free and this, that, and the third. I was like, well, you were wrong the first time you thought that Sheila came after you. And it turned out to be somebody named Sugar. But it's almost as though they don't consider that when she starts freaking out and panicking and everything like that. Yes, the alley, I understand that. And she should be in jail for that. But you also did sit there and poke the bear that time when you confronted her. And then you poked the bear again when you came in her house and punched her in the face. And then both times you want to sit there and play, you want to sit there and act like you're the victim in this whole thing. So I don't know. Sometimes when I watch PNB, it's just like I have to sit there and kind of I don't want to sit there and say lower my expectations, but not really think so much because if I think about this stuff, especially with B&B, I know with soap operas you have to have a certain level of disbelief. But with B&B, I don't know. Anyway, I feel like that's the gist of the episode. If I missed anything, write it in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.